Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Pivot Boss pre-market report for February 9th, 2016. I am Frank Ochoa, aka Pivot Boss, with analysis for the current session. Here we're looking at the daily time frame of the ES right now. In the previous session, we saw price sell off here. We saw price break down through the 1846 CLVN, trade much lower than that, but by the end of the session, price closed back above that CLVN. And now what we see in overnight trading is mostly price trading right in the middle of that LVN zone between 1835 and 1850 right there. It appears that price is kind of trying to fill in that little bit of LVN there ahead of its next move. But right now, it appears apparent that ever since price failed to hold above the 1921s here and dropped below it, when it came back, it was redefended, and then you saw the major sell-off here toward 1811s, and that was our primary idea. If price wasn't going to find acceptance at 1921, the expectation was to move to the next HVN below, and that's 1811. That's what happened before. Price came very close to that zone and still may hit it here if we don't see price reestablish itself back above 1850 to 1846. So looking at the intraday time frame here for the ES, what we'll be looking for here is how does price materialize out of this current range here. If you kind of break out a little bit from this range, you're going to see some significant movement. Here you see 1855s, 1856. There's a major LVN above that zone as price just went auction right through that zone, and then you see the next major distribution above. So this is a major area of resistance right now. Bears clearly defending prices above the previous session's high of 1855. You can see the rejection there. So any acceptance above this zone will easily lead to a squeeze back toward 1888s, 1890s. But right now, that level is majorly defended by bears looking for further weakness below. On the downside here, 1830 has been a key level, a zone where anywhere above that zone kind of been defended here so far. We had a little bit of a hold below it, and then that led to a squeeze when price wasn't able to hold below 1830. So 1830 is kind of the key zone here between 30 and 33. That's an area where bulls are looking to defend and rotate into the 1850s. Bears are looking to defend 1850s for a rotation into 1830. Once we see expansion from this range, it could be significant. All right, taking a look here at crude oil. Here's crude oil on the daily time frame. The previous session saw a very unique day where price basically stayed within the boundaries of the overnight range during RTH session. So during RTH trading, prices didn't break out from the overnight range, and we're still seeing the overnight range stay inside the overnight range from the night before. So this is clearly price coiling up here. We have a very clear key range here. Price is sitting right on the volume ledge here between 29.25 and 29.40. Significant volume ledge there. Bulls are desperately trying to keep that bid for a return to 33 to 33.50. Failure to hold above 29s, though, opens up a major retest of 27.56 with a very big time shot at seeing expansion into the downside expansion targets. Right now we have 24.63 and 21.69 as the 50 and 100%, rather the 25 and 50% expansion targets. Let's take a look at the intraday real quick here. In the intraday, what you see here is basically price pullback, attempt to hold above the previous session's open and overnight trading and fail. So, here's the overnight session from here. Price tries to hold above the previous session's open price. Gets a bit of acceptance above that zone, but then the stops come out and you see the move to the previous low. So that's kind of the game right now, is fading the extremes of the range. If you kind of roll this thing back out, you'll see right here, this is the key range we're watching, 29.57 at 31.38, midpoint at 30.47. Most of the trading has been predominantly in the lower distribution of the range, which implies weakness ahead. Bulls are desperately trying to keep prices bid at 29.57, but right now we see that prices are just at them right now. So below this level puts a lot of pressure on testing that 29.25 to 29.40 zone. This is where bulls want to defend on a higher time frame. Failure to hold 29.25 opens up big time expansion to the downside, and of course you have your downside expansion targets here. Your primary bear target is 28.77 with MCV pocket 28.36. So some clear downside targets to reach for if price can't hold above 29.50. All right, taking a look at the gold futures contract here, we've seen significant trending behavior to the upside, almost a parabolic move out of this saucer type of pattern here, this rounded bottom. We were looking for a move just like this after we saw expansion from this range. We were looking for that first initial push. We saw it. We were looking for the first pullback. We saw it. And right here, that's what we were looking for, back into 1169. So 1169 was reached right here, and that had a couple of key range targets to it. And then we upward adjusted to 1192 as being the prior pivot high, and price got to that zone and is now attempting to hold beyond it. So a very significant move. We've already seen 100% expansion from the previous month's range. So that's 100%, and here's the previous month's high. Here's the previous month's low right here. So this range from here to here is the same distance from here to here, and that's what we've reached right now. Typically speaking, that could be a zone. If price can't hold above 92s, you could see that pullback. But given the overall strength here, pullback's likely to be bought and defended for a continuation higher. We have further upside targets if we want to continue to look forward. 1224.90 would be the next major expansion target above, with 1206.80 being the weekly expansion target on the ADR method. All right, now taking a look at the NQ. The NQ has been dropping here significantly ever since it failed to hold basically above the midpoint of the August range. That was 42.26. There it is. It held up there for one session, and it went offered. 2 days of defense here, and then you see the continuation into that 38.93 half, which is the bottom of the August range. So this is the first time we're actually retesting the August lows. And retesting the August lows is very important. The ES did it just a few days ago. So testing the zone is very important here, as that is the August lows. And as you can see from the August lows, and this is what I mention a lot every August, I say, find the August low. That could be the low for the year as price rallies the rest of the year. So this is a very important pivot low here, because this would be a zone where the market should see some type of value to return it back up. But if it does not, that's going to be a big time area to break, because breaking that key range to the downside opens up these downside expansion targets, 37.27, 35.60, with many, many more below. So we're going to see how price continues to behave around 38.93 half. That's a zone that needs to be defended by bulls for a rotation higher. Otherwise, failure to hold it opens up these downside targets the rest of the week into 37.27. Now, if we take a look at the intraday time frame before we head out here, basically very similar to the ES, we have a very clear LVN here to watch, 39.80. And that's the 5-day LVN. You can see it right here. That's the zone right there where bears are defending right now for a shot lower. Above this level, likely squeezes and returns price into 40.50, 40.48 half, and perhaps even higher. But right now, it appears that bears are clearly defending this zone for a shot at squeezing lower. Failure to hold above the 39.20s right here opens up a quick rotation into the previous session's low, and that might be an area there where bulls could trap short term for a return here. But again, in a steady downtrending market here, any bounce is likely to be seen as selling opportunities for new lows. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.